And there's always a bit of a delay, just so that you know. Good morning. There's always a bit of a delay, just so that you know. We are here in beautiful, cloudy, foggy Southern California. Not that you can tell by my background. Whoops. Okay, hold on one second. I have to. There we go. Okay. I'm always going to fuss and fumble over the technology here, you guys. So you know how it goes. Thank you for being patient. Welcome and good morning. Ahla wa sahla. And we are here with Live with Roxxanne. That's me. I'm Roxxanne Shalaby. And I'm so excited and so honored to have finally someone who I've been wanting to interview for quite some time. And we've had, some scheduling difficulties because she's a busy lady. And we're here today together. Finally, today is December 4th, 2021. We're coming to the end of the year. And we're finally with Nawarra of Morocco. Welcome, and thank you so much for being here with me. It's wonderful to see you, and I'm so excited to learn more about you because you're an amazing woman, an amazing dancer, amazing everything, and I want to learn about all of the things. So I can tell you guys who have seen my other lives, you know that we usually go for about an hour and a half. And I think I can say very easily that we'll probably have to do a part 2 with Nawarra because I'm sure there's going to be a lot we have to talk about, right? So we will see how that goes. We're also, let's see, I'm trying to go live to Facebook also. Let's see if it's sharing. There it is. Okay. So we want to be able to have our Facebook family with us here. And I'm going to just tell you that I'm going to turn it over to Nora and let her tell us about who is Nawarra.
Hi, oh my God, what a wonderful introduction. I did not expect any of that at all whatsoever. But hello. Thank you so much. I'm absolutely delighted to be sat here chatting with you, Roxxanne. I mean, it's been such a long time, and thank you for the opportunity. And I know it's been quite difficult and hard trying to get together with the time differences as well. It doesn't help. You've got a morning, I've got an evening.
Good evening to you guys on the other side of the world.
You're having breakfast. I've just had dinner, my supper and my dinner. So there you go. So thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And like I said, it's an absolute pleasure chatting with yourself. And obviously, if any of the viewers would like to join us in terms of this chat and asking any questions about Morocco, about myself, I would be delighted to answer. In terms of your question, who is Nawarra? I'm just a humble female of a Moroccan origin, a migrant dancer that moved from Morocco or migrated from Morocco into a city called Leeds in the United Kingdom, and that is up north near Manchester. I love dancing. I grew up with a dancing environment, with a dancing family, and I came over here like any other migrants, seeking out for higher level education, as well as seeking a better life. And there we go again. Looking backward now is 23 years. Don't get it for murder.
Wow.
So came here, settled, did my studies, settled, and joined the dance and sort of formed different dance companies and dance groups. And this has been going, touch wood, it's been going absolutely fantastic for me and for my girls and, the company as well. So like I said, it's been a ride, and it's been an absolute wonderful ride. And there's more to come. There's more to come. So that's very briefly who am I and the background and everything.
And it's lovely to hear, for me, it's lovely to hear your beautiful accent. And so you're in the United Kingdom and you go back and forth between the UK and Morocco.
Very, very often. If I don't go, well, I've got a very small, tiny sort of, let's call it a trade business over there anyway. So I'm backward and forward, and at least in a year, I have to do. This is at least if I'm not going much, I do four trips a year. That's without the organized trips. So Morocco in the
Wow.
blood, in the heart, in the house, in the language, in the mentality, in the outfit. Morocco does exist in every single thing to do with us. England as well is a home for me, and I cannot deny the UK and the British people when I first joined in. I only became Nawara because of my British English friends, if that makes
Wow.
sense. And
It
because
does.
they supported me, girls believed in what I do and what I can give, and they joined me. They helped me form the actual dance groups. All these years, because there were different dance groups, obviously, with all these years. So the UK is a home for me as well, and I need to stress that one, very important. So for me, when you mention Morocco, it's in heart and it's everything, but UK is my home. So Morocco and UK for me, they come in one level. By
That's
the, because by the end of the day, I left Morocco at the age of 21. I lived in the UK 23 years, so more than I lived in Morocco.
and we have big hearts, so there's lots of space in there to love,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I says, I mean, this is just, so British Moroccan or Moroccan, and with the UK residency. So, yes, UK means a lot to me as well as the Morocco. Yeah.
It's funny, every time I do these, I have a list of questions here I'm ready to ask. And then you said something that sparked my interest, that I'd like to sneak in as a question. So, um, you said you come from a dance family and that your dance life sort of blossomed in the UK. So, were you a dancer in Morocco first? And would you have been a professional dancer if you had stayed in Morocco?
Uh, I wasn't a dancer in Morocco. No, I was seeking to be one. But because of the restrictions, because of the family restrictions, because of the mentality, because of so many religious and social strain, I could not be Nawara in Morocco. But saying that, I do come from a family and a musical background and entertainment background, and we do come from. I don't know if you know much about the Moroccan folklore and a Sewi background, which is a trance
Mm,
dance background. Maybe that's where the hairpin comes from in a way. So that
mm.
is that is that. In terms of um, the dance coming to the UK and it flourished, I think I had the passion and I still have the passion and I had a flair and I wanted to share who I am. So it's not the Morocco that you hear on the news. It's not the Morocco conflicts that you hear God knows where. No, we are a nation. We are a diverse nation. And we have a lot to give. So it flourished and it blossomed in the UK because people and students have felt there's an interesting part in there, and that's why I kept going for so many years.
Yes, I mean, it's tragic because, and I think we hear this story from many of our Manat dance members and colleagues that unfortunately, in the old country, we always say the old country,
Yeah,
we wouldn't have been able to have these dance careers. And so, thankfully, to where we are here in the UK, I'm in the US, we are able to do that. And so, honestly, I know very little about Moroccan folk dancing, and I need to learn more. I love it. When I see it, I feel like a very connection to it. It's so wonderful, and so much energy and so much passion. Um, And then you bring the question to mind of this, we're hearing this term now, Amazigh, right? And so, can you talk a little bit about that? Do you identify as Amazigh or Arab? Are they different? Are they? Tell us a little bit of your feelings of that.
No, that's absolutely fine. I identify myself as a Moroccan, okay, before being an Amazigh or Arab or Jewish or.
Mm.
I am a Moroccan and I will die as a Moroccan. Okay, my child, my child's father is from Amazigh from Ait Ba'amran, which is the pure Amazigh down south. Morocco as a nation, and that is the only thing I always thrive to share with the groups that joins me in Morocco in my holidays. As a nation, we are mixed, but as a nation, because we've got a history, we've got an Amazigh culture that we carry behind. We want to keep it surviving. We want to keep it alive. We want to keep that tattoos and the writing, the different dialects, the languages, the Amazigh dialects and the language alive. And that's what we're trying to keep. But in families, it's very hard that you see pure Arab or pure Amazigh family anymore because we're all mixed. There's a big mixture. And that is what you would normally see and notice when you go to Agadir, when you go to Terudent, when you go to Tiznit, you go to those very, how am I going to, conservative, that's the word, conservative Amazigh families. Their son is married an Arab. Their son is married a Ghibli, which is up north. Their son is married, or their daughter is. So the presence of, we are a melange, we are, but we have got a rich culture that we need to keep alive. We want our kids, generation after generation, to know about it. So that's what we're thriving to do. So my identity, before being anything, I'm a Moroccan. I am a Moroccan and I will die Moroccan.
That's wonderful. I want to say I accidentally hit mute on one word. I didn't catch. You said your husband is
My child's father is my child's father is Amazigh from Ait Bamran. So we are mixed. We are absolutely mixed. And so is my sister. So is But yeah. So coming, because I get a lot of people asking me this question: would you identify? We are indigenous. We are the origin. We are who we are. We are diverse, and this is who we are. You can't ask. You can't go to an Arab and a Jewish and say, "Well, no, we're not. We are Moroccans, regardless of our origin and where we come from, or where derive basically from. We are who we are. We are diverse, and we are Maghreb. We are Moroccan. Well, alhamdulillah, our country in terms of this. I mean, regardless, well, sometimes we're here on internet and you go to Morocco, you go to shopkeepers, you go anywhere, you laugh and you joke about this.
Yes.
Normal. We are who we are. We are diverse. We are accepting ourselves for who we are. And our generation and generation after us and after they mix, they merged. Does that make sense? The mix. So there isn't a pure thing anymore. If that makes sense.
It makes absolute sense. And I'm so glad that you say that because I feel that I'm half Brazilian, right? My mom is from Brazil, and Brazilians are that way. Like Brazilians are very diverse. We have so many mix of different cultures and religions and people that make up Brazil. But Brazilians will always say they're Brazilian first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I very much relate to what you're saying. And I think it's a beautiful concept. And I feel like it's something we should embrace a little bit more. You love where you are and you love where you're from. And those two things are both important. For those out there who are not so familiar with Amazigh term, I want to clarify something. Does Amazigh mean the name of a group of people, or is it a term that means native to the area?
No, yeah, right. This is the history. The original inhabitants of Morocco, they're from Beni Amazigh, which is the tribe's name. They came from Yemen via
Wow.
via الحبشة ومصر, via Egypt and Sudan. So
Mm.
the Amazigh, the tribe that came and traveled to settle in North Africa, they came originally from Yemen. And up to nowadays, and I don't know how the dancers are familiar with the Yemeni culture, with the Yemeni wedding, with the Yemeni jewelry. It is exactly the same in what you would normally see within the Amazighs in North Africa, in terms of tradition, in terms of everything. Do you know what? Even the visage, even the resemblance. Okay, so you can.
Interesting.
It is, yes. So we this is history. هذا التاريخ. This is history. That's the history. This is what they teach you in Morocco. This is what they teach you in any Arab country. So the Amazigh, the original inhabitants of Morocco, they came and settled in North Africa. But you don't just see them in Morocco. They settled during the whole North Africa. So you'll see them. Siwa. What is Siwa in Egypt?
Ah.
بحيرات سيوا. What is Siwa? Siwa, بحيرات سيوا are the Amazigh, the Egyptian Amazigh.
Oh. Oh, wow. Oh my God, you guys. Okay. Siwa.
Yeah, lakes. Siwa lakes, and including, I don't know if you digging deeper and if you get a chance to actually learn or visit Siwa. Siwa is known by, people that suffers from arthritis, in their bones. You go to Siwa and that salt they have seem to relax the actual body. It's a lovely, lovely area, lovely, beautiful lakes area in Egypt. Had Amazigh, they are Amazigh, Egyptian Amazigh. Then again in Libya, in Tunis, Nigeria, as well as in Morocco, if that makes sense. So, and the Amazigh existed for such a long time. And like I said, they've got a big history and there is a big culture they carry behind. And in terms of the resemblance and similarities between the Amazigh and the Yemeni, I was fortunate to work with the Yemeni group for 2 years. And I got to know a lot about the tradition, about the Shamali, Yemeni Shamali, Janubi, which is the north, and obviously Yemen now with the political issues and what have you. So let's hope things will settle for them. Obviously, we've got Shamali and Janubi, which is the north and the south, and similarities in the tradition. I'm speaking from what I've lived, bearing in mind.
Right.
I'm a Moroccan, seeing these in my own eyes. I didn't grow up by stories from my mom and dad. So those things, I lived them. So from some of the tradition that my child's father did on our wedding, okay, in terms of the bride, in terms of wrapping the bride, in terms of so many, it's some big similarities. In fact, it's the same. So, it's like I said, there is, if you dig deeper, you'll get more similarities, you'll get more, things that we share. But this is the history, and I still come back because this is a deeper history and it needs to be searched and more and more and more and more. But this is from what I've seen, and this is from what we learned in Moroccan school, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, and it's fascinating to me. And I didn't know that about Siwa. And for those of you who don't know, Siwa is like an oasis town in the Western Desert, the northwestern part of Egypt, close to Libya. And it has those it's like salt baths, right? Salt water baths.
The salt bath, but it's also, the area is also known, if I may say, and I think this is the place for the Egyptian to speak about their country, but if I may say, and I'm sure my Egyptian friends will go, it's a green land in the desert. It's a green land in the desert. The lakes, obviously, because of the lakes and because of the flourishing of the water and all that, you'll get to see the green, obviously the oasis, the green land, and all around you is the desert. And obviously the area is known by the salt that can be used for medical, cosmetic, and all sorts. So it's a beautiful place to see. Well, guys, if you haven't had a chance to go and visit, do it on the earliest possible. It's not Cairo. It is not Cairo. It's not Alexandria. There's no belly dancing, whatever you call it.
Yeah. And they do have their own style of folk dancing. I haven't had a chance to go yet. I've been to Egypt several times, but next time I'm going to go to Siwa. But yeah, it's so interesting, all of the connections. You know what I mean? We don't often hear about all these things. Now, what I'd love to ask is for you to tell us about how your dance career started and how did you become a dancer and talk about those things.
Absolutely. I'm not going to be boring everyone, all our listeners today. But obviously, I came to the UK, a young student at the time, seeking a better life, like I said, seeking a better career, seeking this. And one day, a friend of mine turned around to me and she says, "Oh, do you know what? There's a free flamenco class in this school. Do you fancy joining me?" And I says, "Oh, do you know what? Yeah, go on. Well, flamenco, that means Spanish music. That's me at the time. Spanish music. Well, it's not far from Morocco, you know.
Right. Yes.
So, anyway, we went in. The session was lovely. The teacher was absolutely fantastic and everything. And when we finished the class, just down the corridor coming out, I could hear the derbuka. And that was an English drummer at the time. And I'm just going like, "Oh, Annie, Annie!" So I took her back in and I got introduced to the young men at the time and I got hooked in since. So it was an Arabic dance class going on in Leeds in that college or call it a dance school.
Hmm.
And I started going into it, bearing in mind I do have, because when I came out from Morocco, I came what we call la licence en anglais, which means an equivalent to the master in English literature, but not quite the equivalent because I did my master over here as well. I've redone the master, if that makes sense, over here.
Yeah.
Okay. So which means 4 years in university. I don't know how equivalent because obviously every single country's qualifications different from the other. Anyway, that's my dad. So I did have the basic knowledge of what is what type thing. So I joined in the class, and next minute, I think 3 months down the line, the teacher, bless her, came and she said, "Would you mind doing the class because I'm going to be not available for next so and so." And it kicked off from there.
Hold on, we have some weird interference.
Are you okay?
I hear some buzzing. Do you hear that?
Oh,
Okay, it's gone now.
I don't. Are you okay with that? Yeah.
Now it's gone. But now you hear my neighbor's gardener outside. So for those of you listening, I hope you can hear us well.
Okay.
If you can't, please give me some feedback in the chat. All these things we
have to do for living.
God, it's so like, and now we know why they have TV studios and soundproofs, But anyway, we're here and we're learning together, so that's the important thing.
Yeah.
So I love I don't know how many dancers I've talked to that have said they were somewhere or they were taking a dance class, they heard the music or they heard the drumming, and that called them for you back to your own culture, but to the dance.
At the time, I'm talking 1996.
Yeah.
Okay, 97 maybe, yeah. And at the time, there were no satellite. Well, I had no satellite. I had no internet. All I had, in fact, at the time, those little telephone boxes outside.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go and queue up there so I can ring my family from there.
Wow.
Hello, Mom, I'm okay. This is how it used to be. So there were no satellites. there were no internet. So to me, I heard the book on a corridor in a dance school. Oh my God, who's doing that? I want to know. I don't want to know, basically. So yeah, no, it meant a lot at the time. And like I says, I went in and it just kicked off. It just kicked off after that. It was another door open,
Mm.
unexpectedly, complete. But obviously, I'll have to stress the facts because some people think, oh no, got it easy and all that. No, if you want to be a very good teacher, if you want to be a good instructor, it's you've got to understand your product. It's like you're selling. It's like you cannot sell a burger if you're not a cook.
Right.
You have to know your product. And to survive, you have to dig deeper in your product so you get more out of it. Does that make sense? So it's not so much of, oh, I know how to do hip drop. Oh, guess what? Morocco, you don't do hip drop. You got to do this and you've got to. It's not about that. It's about digging deeper and knowing. That opened another flare for me in studying, in searching, getting in touch with teachers.
Yes. Okay, there you go. You froze for a second, but we can hear you.
In getting in touch with teachers and local teachers, in searching, in going, and like I said, even though when I started, I remember very well, we used to have a big library in Casablanca, and it used to be a Saudi library in IDM.
Wow.
Library at the time, there's no internet, you can't get much information from internet like you do nowadays. It had, how am I going to say, it had the full 5-6 bays of books of the dance, but from all over the world.
Mm.
And I used to go and dig this book and dig the other book and read about this and read about that and who's done this and what the circle means, what does the shimmy means, what does the clapping, the Amazigh dance means, do you know, what does the foot stomping mean, do you know, it's all that. I had to dig it out and I had to search for it. So yeah, it's not about just being a dancer, it's about searching what you do, knowing what you give and knowing what you share.
Absolutely, because we have, women of our cultures dance, and everybody knows how to dance, right?
Yes.
Social dancing to a certain level, but that doesn't mean that they're performers or teachers or researchers or educators. So we have, I did that as well. Like, okay, I grew up as a dancer. I've been dancing since day one, but you said it, to survive and to be a good teacher, we have to learn and continue to understand not just our own dance, but that world around us,
And even searching our own dance. And Roxxanne, you'd be absolutely surprised how much I've learned and how much I've discovered. Honest to God. And I'll tell you something, because unfortunately, I'm speaking about Moroccan folklore, so I'm not having my Tunisian friends and Egyptian friends telling me otherwise. I'm speaking about Moroccan folklore. It's not in books. The Egyptian folklore is being written, some of it's been written by Americans. And don't get me wrong, and don't take this the wrong way, we appreciate anybody that came in and lived in Morocco and wrote books and things about our culture, which is absolutely fine. But to me, needed someone that lived or would live with people, not younger generation, not TikTok generation, people that actually from previous, and take information and write it down, because I think it needs to be passed on. There's a lot of things that's quite valuable, unfortunately, and we are going to see it, but let's hope one day we're going to get someone that would, how am I going to say, that would save this culture from dying, writing it down.
And it's not that we don't appreciate the contributions of our Western dance.
No.
Because we absolutely do, and we need that. I think the what we're talking about is the void of the people of the culture. Documenting and researching and writing about their own culture. And so I hope, one of my little side agendas for bringing this group of dancers together for the Manat Dancers Collective is
Yes.
to inspire ourselves and the people of our culture
Yeah.
to research and document,
Yeah.
because our voice is missing in our own history. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know.
And it has to be passed on properly. And can I just re-clarify something? Because
Mm.
my very last thing is out of this conversation to have anybody, um, the Americans, I mean, like I said, the folklore has been written by Americans, but to me, those, because they knew that nothing's been recorded about culture and they knew it was very rich. Maybe because of the language barrier, don't forget, and because of so many things, they've recorded what they've been told or what they've felt or how
Yeah,
they've seen it, rather than what's been seen and lived within those people, if that makes
yeah.
sense.
So it's
So
only one little piece of the puzzle, you know.
yeah, yeah. But like I said, I personally, for the last 20 odd years, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I've learned a lot, a lot, a lot about the dance, the intake of the dance, the meaning, the gestures. Even she can't. People, whenever they refer to Nawarra, it's always she can't, she can't. Do you know she can't? I've learned a lot about she can't, and I've learned a lot about the language, the poetry language of she can't, which is not an easy thing. And it's Arabic, it's Moroccan Arabic. But that meaning behind it, during the colonialism, during, war, during so much thing, is very deep, is very strong and very deep. So it's like I says, we are learning. So please, guys, if you like this for the fancy side of it and the Shakira side of it,
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
gonna survive. If you want to survive it for the love of it, go to the countries, meet people, speak to people, sit down with people, and that will become a bit more of a, getting used to it, understanding it, and representing it properly.
Absolutely. And it's something I also always promote. I mean, I'm lucky because I'm in LA, in Southern California. We have a very large Arab, Middle Eastern
Yeah,
population. I mean, if you are in an area where you have a community of whichever country, of the Middle East, North Africa, go to the stores, go to the markets, go to the church, go meet the people. Do you know what I mean? Make friends, and
yeah,
there's nothing like being in the home of the person,
of
of the
course.
culture, and experiencing it that way. So
Living it with
yes,
them.
absolutely go to if you can go to the country, go, but you can also try to experience that where you are. And I know not everyone can do that, but there are a lot of people that can. And
Yeah,
YouTube is great, and there's a lot of stuff to research on YouTube, but
yeah.
you're only getting
So,
one slice,
yeah. YouTube is a commercial school for me. YouTube is
Well
very,
said.
unless you speak the language or unless you can type
Yeah.
Arabic or the Amazigh or, then that's different. But YouTube is very commercial. How am I going to say school? It is a school itself, but very commercial,
Hmm.
because you type any folk dance, it'll bring it up, but it wouldn't bring the actual folk dance. It'll bring what's the commercial side, how people titled it before, how they wanted, whom they want to hit
The
without the
tags. Yeah.
titles, the tags. So, and if you are a student, you don't know, do you? You'll just look at it and you think, oh my God, that's how they do it. Oh, good. I think I can do that. I think I can.
Yeah. You don't have the context around it. You don't have the information,
Uh,
all the other stuff. So we're 35 minutes in, and I've learned so much from you already, and I'm so inspired. It's just wonderful.
I
So
just say, as Roxanne, can I
yeah,
just say, I really admire, and I loved, and this is how crazy I am in searching and reading your first documentary.
oh, thank you.
I
Appreciate that.
absolutely loved it because see, this is me learning. This is me learning. I never knew about the dancers. I knew about certain names, and I
Yeah.
was daydreaming of meeting certain names, you know, that were actually in the documentary, and to actually see them in your family setting, in that
Yeah.
environment, in the fairs, it's brilliant. I never knew that. I never knew that something like that would exist in the States. For me, and don't forget, an outsider, an outside eye,
Yeah.
an Arab.
And I appreciate that so much when it, comes from one of my dance sisters,
No,
like,
it's true. It's true. It really, if you want to learn a lot from what I'm not going to call it, no, if you, the dancers in the States watch the documentary first, it's got lots of information shared.
yes. And it's funny because I always say, I was not a documentarian when I started
Yeah.
the documentary. I thought I have a story to tell, and I want to encapsulate this story, right? But now I look at everything as a documentary. I go somewhere and I see like a little something. I'm like, oh, I could make. I just haven't had the time, but I'm gonna work on that. So I appreciate that. And yes, this is like my other passion is promoting people out there. You have an iPhone, we live in a world like you have an iPhone in your pocket. You can document anything. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
tell your story, research your history of your area, of your dance, of your family, of your culture. We need it. We need
Of
it.
course we do.
Yeah.
Of course we do. Of course we do.
So
Because, and I
tell
love
us,
it.
sorry, and thank you again. I appreciate that. So you do Moroccan folk dances. Tell us about what you do and what you're working
Right.
on.
Well, let's call it this way. When a few years back, when I started, I mean, the flair, it was mainly Egyptian, 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 Egyptian. Because if you didn't do Egyptian, you wouldn't sell.
Right.
As simple as. People, when they first attracted to it, they're not attracted to it for the music or the side of it. They're attracted to it for the coins and the sequins and the dressing up. That was the first draw. That was the very first draw. That draw. So I did Egyptian, and I have to say, I mean, there's been some wonderful memories with some of the Egyptian friends on the stage and all that. Yeah, but in the end, I realized that as a Moroccan dancer, when you do Egyptian, you are still classed a Moroccan dancer. So when you do it, regardless how good it is, regardless how fluid you are, regardless how cheeky and very Egyptian you are, you're still classed as a Moroccan dancer. And I thought, right, okay, no, I think we have got a lot to share here. We've got a lot to show. And it started, and I have to say, this is not a big-headed or anything, and my English friends that knows me, they know the story behind it. And if they're watching now, they'll say, yes, we were there on the day. We had, Madame Fifi Abdou came into the UK, and I'm speaking 2009, as a big festival. It was done, and, you know, and we all did our show. And obviously, when the booking came through my door, it didn't come as a baladi or a shavi or anything. She's Nawarra, Morocco, whatever you do, it has to be Moroccan. Just get on with it. I thought, okay.
Okay.
But Fifi, in the end, Madame Fifi, in the end, she came to the stage to say, thank you, guys, you've done very well. And she spoke something on my ear to say, you are fire on Moroccan. Inti shaitana in Maghribi. As in, like, you are a little devil. That's the explanation. You're a little devil in your Moroccan. And that's how it worded it. The lady dancer next to me, I won't mention her name because she doesn't dance now anymore, unfortunately. She says, oh my God, I think you've done it. For her to say such a thing, I think you have done it. And from there, and I thought, I'm going to dig deep and I'm going to see what I need to know to share this. And do you know what? It's been brilliant. So Moroccan dance came to the UK presence as number one in Europe. Bearing in mind, the Moroccan migration in France, in Europe, other countries, Spain is quite high.
Yeah.
But the Moroccan dance in the between the Western dances, it didn't come as high in Europe, even though there's high migration of Moroccan than it did in the UK. And I'm so pleased with that because I've seen it several times in various festivals. You go to France, people, like I says, migration of the Moroccans are quite high in France, in Spain. You find them in Germany, Italy as well. But because the migration is quite high there, I think the local dancers or the Western dancers, the Moroccan dancers, not drawing much into them. Maybe I don't know. Whereas in the UK, it got to be known. It was getting to be known. It was getting to be seen. It was getting to be appreciated. And people, a lot of people wanted to know more about it. And obviously, after that, I'm speaking out in took quite a few years back here. And then after that, for the last 10, 15 years, we started seeing Moroccan dance in Europe and obviously starts coming and all that and all that. But the UK straight away, you can see the UK market straight away, oh yes, we know that. Oh yes, they can see folklore. They'll know what Nubian is. They know what Amazigh is. They know what, Atlas Sus or Atlas, in any type of the Atlas, sort of dances. So they were getting introduced to it in a way, so they knew about it.
This is fascinating. And, Fifi Abdu is my idol. Like, I just absolutely adore her. And what a compliment.
That was one of the best things that's happened to me. It was that comment. And you know what? It was unexpected as well. It was completely unexpected. And you know what? We didn't even think she was going to speak to us at all whatsoever. We thought she was just going to walk in and walk past and say hi, do a normal protocol, prestige. But you know what? She's a down-to-earth lady, an absolute down-to-earth, sociable person. She doesn't stand for, excuse my French, nonsense.
Yeah.
She wouldn't stand for it. She'll speak up. She'll tell you what it is. She wouldn't stand, and she would. And she'll say it as it is. And you know something? It's good like that because it's there. It's out there, so you know where you are, where you stand. But for her to come and say, "Well done, girls," you've done, and I think she was herself. She was very happy to see all that, and all the girls are tried, and the drum soloist, the balladist, the shabbiest, the little Moroccanist.
And it's funny. I have to tell these stories at another time, but she came to the U.S. at around the same time, and I had a chance to meet her, and I have some funny and some inspiring stories that I'll share sometime. So we love you, Fifi. Just anybody out there who needs to know, we love Fifi. So you mostly only do Moroccan folk dancing now?
I think I've drilled a lot on Shabi and I've really drilled a lot on the Shikats. Moroccan folklore dancing in how am I gonna in its roots. I do most of it. Okay, I do most of it. There are still areas that I still need to work on and I still need, but most of it, if not, I drilled it, I do know it, but there's still more to learn because like I said, it's a vast sort of thing. The name's been linked mainly with the Shabi and the Shikhats. Why the Shabi and the Shikhats? Because there was a seminar that was done in there's one that was done in Dublin about Shikhats and their view, how socially how they were received socially and politically, and so there was a seminar that was broadcasted within the media and everything in Dublin, and also in Germany there were another seminar about Shikhats. So my name got linked into that a lot. I love Shikhats in Tibet. I love the style. I'll do it. I can do it all. I'll be doing it the rest of my life. But I do Egyptian. I do all sorts of other, But Morocco is my main. Morocco is my main. Is my main. Is my main study, my main focus, my main. How am I going to say? Flair. Everything is It's Moroccan folklore, basically. And not only just Shabi and Shikhat, no, there's Isawa, there's Al-Qidra, there's Regada, all those. There's a lot in them than just the names.
And again, for our listeners out there, participants, when you say Shabi, you mean Moroccan Shabi.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think a lot of dancers, when we say Shabi, they think that's like just an Egyptian style of dance. But Shabi means like the dance of the people, the way the people dance. So you have the way the people dance in Egypt, you have the way the people dance in Morocco.
True.
So,
no, the word Shabi, the word Shabi is from the word Shab, okay? And the word Shab means the nation or people. Okay, and when we speak Arabic, if I'm speaking to you in Arabic, Roxxanne, I'll say Roxana, very shabby, very sociable, very outgoing, very, by the majority, everybody love. And that applies on the style of music, okay? The style of music, that means it's widely listened by the majority of Moroccan. But the actual music, where it's coming from, the Shabi, it comes from a different Moroccan folklore. Okay, the roots of it is from mainly different folklore background, but the majority of it came from Shikhat. And yes, and majority, I repeat, majority, the majority of it came from Shikhat. But they've done it in a hyperactive modern music listened by the majority, and so on. You cannot get into Moroccan taxi without listening to Shabi. Okay? You can't have a wedding without having a Shabi. Okay, you can't have festivals, because don't forget, Morocco is an agriculture country, so the festivals are very important to us. So at the end of the harvest, with every single area or region around Morocco do have festivals. You can't have festival without horse fantasia, which is the horse riding with that clap into the air, or without Shabi music. It's like, you go, I mean, now in Egypt there's Maharaganat, and there is Shabi is the 80s, 90s style, even 70s style, and so on. But in a wedding, the wedding with no Shabi, it's like you're having food with no salt. It's a bit tasteless.
That's well said. Very well said. And we want to go to those festivals with you. Oh my God.
You do a dance festival without a Shah.
It's unheard of.
I'm going to cause a lot of trouble with a lot of organizers here, so I better keep quiet.
Well, we're educating. You take it or leave it. But, you have to, people have to know.
Yeah,
if
true.
They don't know, better, do better.
True, so true.
Our friend and our dance sister, Felicia Elias, is out there asking questions. She said, well, first she said, how often do you visit Morocco? I think you answered that question. You said, at least, let's see if I was listening, 4 times a year, plus you take groups, yeah?
Yes.
And I think she said, with today's conditions, are there conditions today that are making it difficult to go to Morocco?
Yes, Morocco suspended just to the UK. So you guys are okay. So you can book tomorrow and fly to Morocco. You won't have a problem.
Is it the COVID situation, or what is it?
No, because Morocco suspended all the direct flights from UK to Morocco, and I think he's done it recently with Spain as well. Right, I have to stress, Morocco, yes, I mean, I keep talking glory about Morocco, and we do have a big glory, but then again, we are a developing country, so our hospitals, our capacities are not as very well geared as it is in Europe. So having the virus quite high in Morocco will affect a lot of people from, lower, rank. So that's why, unfortunately, the UK at one point has opened up completely. In fact, we were allowed to go, you don't wear a mask. You don't wear a mask and you can go anywhere. It's until this new variant came in that they imposed the wear of masks basically within I think it's only last 2 days. Started when did it start? I think Tuesday, I think.
Oh yeah.
Just started on Tuesday, and they've come back into social distancing. But because UK have opened so much, I think Moroccan governments are very because there are a lot of people. I've lost my auntie, my father's sister through COVID. So every single family, when the COVID hit Morocco, they were affected. Majority of families were affected in a way. So I think that's why they've closed the borders now, or they suspended all the direct flights between the UK. It's only the UK, I think. UK, Spain, and Morocco. I was hoping to go in January on the 3rd. I can't see it happening, and I'm going to be honest with you. But then again, better safe than sorry. Saying that my mother lives with me in the UK and she's stranded in Morocco.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
But she's within the family's environment. She's well looked after. My sisters, do you know what I mean? So she's not like, but her medication over here and everything's over here. So there is that, but we just have to. And I don't want to start playing the system and get her to another country because of too many PCRs, and with the age and the health, she's. Do you know what I mean? So
you do. It's complicated, and we hope that everything is gonna be okay with your mother.
Hoping. We got very, very strongly affected, especially us that does the holiday organizing type thing. And you know what? The holidays are something for me, like like any other. I mean, we got affected for dancing anyway. Even the organizing, especially again the festival organizers as well. They couldn't organize and this and that. So I was hoping to do 2 trips, and I'm still hoping to do the 2 trips on 2022. But let's hope this phase will go, and let's hope this will lead to an end because it's getting silly.
It is. We're now in Act 3 of COVID with this latest variant, sorry.
Yeah.
So Felicia asked another question, and she beat me to it because I was going to ask. She asks, how many regional folk dances of Moroccan do you perform and teach? She says, we in the West tend to look at Moroccan dance as a monolith, right? There are many, many different kinds of dances there.
Right. In terms of how many folkloric dance do I teach, I think it might be more than 20.
Wow.
From north to south. Okay, from the Jebli, the Rifi, from the Wajdi, the Brigada, Fez, the Andalusian style, Isawa trance dance, into the region of the middle, Casablanca, which is the Shabi, the Shikhat, the La'awiniyat, which is another side to Shikhat, which is Abida Tarma, which is the male Shikhat rather than the female Shikhat, which and to the down south Sus, Tishlahawi, everything, more than 25, from the Gadas Harawi, up to the modern pop, so
which is important. The modern pop is important as well, right?
Yeah, of course.
Do you have a website or like where we can see more information about you? How do we know more about Nawarra?
Right, okay. I did have a website and I took it down. And the reason why I took it down is because websites now do not work as active as social media does.
True.
So, any information, please follow me on Nawarra of Morocco on Facebook. You can follow me, you can add me, you can get in touch, you can ask any questions, you can make any comments. You are very much welcome. If you ask a question, you will get an answer. I'm not the quickest person to get back to because I have got 3 jobs.
Only 3?
I know, only 3. I know. So,
feel you.
Yeah, so 3 years on.
What do you consider your greatest accomplishment so far in the dance world?
I've um, well, all being well, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. I've had the flair of doing a folkloric dance show and touring
Oh,
it around the UK.
wow.
Okay, yes. And I think the idea came to place about 6, 7 years ago. Okay, so we managed, me and my fellow dancers, we managed to produce different shows each year and we tour it in the UK. So that
Mm,
was one of the biggest thing. And that's because I wanted to show it's not about, I mean, with my due respect to the Egyptian friends, it's not all about Sharky. There is
right. No,
folklore.
that's, yeah, yeah.
There is folklore. So we managed to represent several countries, including Uzbekistan. We
Oh,
had
wow.
dancers from Uzbekistan. It says from Maghreb to Shark, from Morocco to Middle East
Mm,
and beyond. So we had dancers from. So we did that. The show had different names on the Fanoon. It was Fanoon Al Jazeera, and Fanoon Al Jazeera is Saudi Arabia. So and Al Jazeera, we took the whole Arab continent as Al Jazeera as an
wow.
island. So we've done the Fanoon, the dances from all that area.
Mm.
Fanoon Al Arabiya, which is Arabic Fanoon or Arabian Fanoon. Fanoon wa Alwan, colors of Fanoon. Fanoon, by the
Oh,
way, sorry, I'll just explain what Fanoon is. Fanoon is the arts. Fen is one art. Fen, F-A-N. Fanoon, F-U-N-L-L-N is arts. Okay, all the different arts. So Fanoon wa Alwan, which is the colors of the arts.
beautiful.
I mean, we've done quite. Fanoon and friends. Unfortunately, COVID hit us with Fanoon with friends, which means all my friends got them together and says, right, we're gonna do a show. Who's gonna do this? Who's gonna do that? So we're gonna, you know, share the actual,
Love it.
styles and yeah. And obviously we've got a lady that makes some lovely folkloric costumes, traditional costumes, obviously.
Ah,
Yeah. So, that was one of my biggest dreams, basically, to get that
do
show
we,
up and running.
do we have any video of this show?
Yes, it is on BBC Arabic and it is on Al
Oh,
Jazeera.
wow. Can you post some links
I
so that
surely
we
can.
want to watch it?
I surely can, no problem. I will send the link. Yes, it's all on.
How
We were
exciting.
very, very fortunate to be covered, or the actual show was covered by BBC Arabic. It's mainly BBC Arabic. We had another channel called Al Ghad Al Arabi, the Arab of tomorrow, Al Ghad Al
Mm,
Arabi. They did a coverage for us, and obviously Al Jazeera. The Al Jazeera coverage, because we worked as a group, we worked with another festival, local festival in Liverpool. So they did the coverage for the festival, but they covered us as well. So
right?
that was that. But I will be delighted to share some wonderful memories, some
Oh,
wonderful dances, and a lot of hard work that was taken, behind.
I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. So that is one of my really, really big. And like I says, there's more to come. There's more to come. So yeah.
And that's what my next question was going to be. What's next? What's your goal? What's
Well,
coming?
um, the, at the moment, it's very, very hard to plan anything
Yeah,
because you don't know your days from your nights, and you
right.
don't know what you're going to be having breakfast on or what you're going to getting down. So you never know where you are, really, do you?
So true. So true.
So at the moment, I'm hoping my Finoon or my two trips will go ahead, and I'm really hoping and banking on that. We've set up a weekend in Morocco on Moroccan dance, and I repeat, not North African, Moroccan, because I think as a country, just us, Morocco, we have got lots of from
Yeah.
kaftans, from tagine, from
Oh,
so many things, so many, and then the dance. So there's a Moroccan dance congress in Morocco, in Marrakesh in June. So that's coming, and that's going to be top notch of Moroccan dance teachers. So I'm hoping you'll still go ahead, and there's a lot of interest. You'll be surprised, honestly.
Please share that information with us if it happens.
Of course, yes, of course, yeah, we'll share everything, and obviously the afternoon dance camp in September. On another note, obviously during the lockdown and people not getting jobs, and every single contract we had to go to a festival has been cancelled, no prior notice. So I've set up a very small project, and this is locally, and that's working with the music industry. So I've started doing what we know in Morocco as tenant gift, which is a party entertainer, if that makes sense, and that means Arabic DJ, okay, bringing groups, okay. So and anything to do with wedding. And you know what? We've set it. When did we set it up? We set it up just after the lockdown, when we got back from the lockdown on 21st of April, and we never stopped.
Wonderful.
It's amazing. It really is. And you know what? This is serving the Arab community in the UK. This is not something of a Western, maybe Western, yes, why not? You know, why not? But it's been launched within the Arabic community in the UK, and I'm speaking Iraqis, Syrian. Don't forget, we've got lots of high migration and refugees coming in and all that. So people and families are getting settled in the UK now more to what we used to see. So Iraqi, Syrian, Kurds, all nation, Kuwaiti, Egyptians, all. So we've nearly every single weekend we have got something. It's really amazing. It kicked off to a point I'm thinking, oh my God, was I in the wrong business?
Little you know.
It doesn't look like they've got any lockdown here. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so like I says, my dance is my dance, and I will still be a dancer, even though in my DJing I'm going up and I'm
Yeah, that's so wonderful. I love that. I mean, you never know how things where it's going to take you. You know what I mean? That's so wonderful. It's funny because our listener, our viewers out there are very much in tune. I was about to ask this question, and one of our lovely dancers, Suna, hi there, she's asking, and I'm asking, like, imagine in a perfect world, right? There's no COVID. You could do anything you want artistically. Like, well, I just say, here's $1 billion, Nawarra. Do whatever you want to do artistically.
That would be amazing. That would be just wonderful. I'll be setting up clubs and theatres.
Yeah.
Maybe clubs and theatres, and getting teachers and getting more folkloric, not just leave it within the Arab continent. Maybe take it slightly beyond, because the Azerbaijani dance, it really surprised me. It was wonderful, and I've learned a lot of steps from fellow dancers. And take it as far as, Asia and all that. Because, sure, folklore, what is the folklore? Folklore is people. It's from people to people. It's a community thing. And this is who we are, and this is what we are. We're human beings. We want to share. We want to know. We want to, rather than, stage and ballet. We're not. We're not a nation of a ballet, are we?
I love it. From people to people. I'm taking notes over here. Yeah, we look forward to all of the wonderful things you're going to continue to do. And I always ask this question. I don't mean to be a downer, but how does your family take your dancing? Do they accept it? What is that all like for you?
There was a big objection at first. There was a no, don't talk about it. And if you want to talk about it, the Arabic way, under that.
So true.
What I did, I think, because I knew maybe I've got a very close relation with my mother. I've always been close to my mother. And I'm very grateful for my mother for helping me bringing my child up and what have you. And she's fantastic. And because I'm so close with my mom, I think I was very fortunate into taking her first in introducing her to it and getting her to see, Mama, it's not about me wearing a two-piece costume and doing this and Fifi had doing all that. No, it's about women at a certain age with my high respect to everybody at all ages and all lovely ladies. It's about those women enjoying themselves in the foreign music.
Yeah.
And it's about them building up friendship and relationship between all of them. And at first it was a bit, oh God, you don't show, you're good, no, oh God, oh God, oh.
Yeah.
But in the end, she got warmed up into it. She got into it. And to the
Right.
point, she built up a friendship with certain women, certain ones. So they were coming round her, she was showing them cooking, couscous, tagine.
Oh, how cute. Oh, I love that.
Bearing in mind, there's a language barrier, my mom don't speak a word in English.
Food and dancing and
And
music is no language, you know?
they were taking her out and they were coming for her and taking her out like coffees. Oh, it was brilliant. So I got my mum introduced to that first, so she'd seen it. And then again, I was invited to go to one of the festival. I believe it was France at the time, Paris.
Hmm.
And she said, "We're paying you to go and dance." Yes, Mama. You're crazy.
Oh no. Just like an Arab mom, right? Like,
Yeah. Oh, wait. She's going, oh, God, cranky, what is that? It's taking you. I can pay you at the big flight. Really? You're not making it up? No, Mama, they're paying everything. She's the most wonderful mother anybody could hope to have, honestly. She
yeah.
really is. She really is. But I think until I started being invited abroad, and she took on board, hang on a minute, this is not about the bad cabaret night, these dances we heard about at one point, because that, unfortunately, this is what you see the dance, what I would call bad cabaret nights, where other things takes place, not just dancing.
A very good way to put that, yeah.
So she knew about, this is not about that, this is about this. And then again, she started seeing me going in. I go to Morocco for 1 week, but I don't want to know anybody, I don't want to speak to anyone. Leave the family alone. I'm off to my library. So she knows I go to the library at 9 o'clock, come back at 6 o'clock. All that to search for your dance. Yes, mother.
That is awesome. I want to meet your mom. Next time we will have your mom with you when she comes back. We're gonna interview her.
I know she's fine with it now. Do you know what? She I've learned from her as well. Tequilita is a way of a drum, you know, on a finger round small tambourine. I haven't got it here. I've showed you. And she does it in a very, very, how am I going to say, very nice, sweet way. So she got me one day and said, come here, sit down. This is how we do it.
We have to do that next time.
So it was an objection at first, but in the end, I think it's fine now, and I don't care.
Good. Good. And you don't care. That's the even better part. If we can get to that point.
Don't care. Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm glad you got your mom on your side and she's supportive. That's so important. So we're now at almost, I can't even see anymore because what time is it? Are we in an hour and a half? No. Oh, we got plenty of time. Okay, hold on. What kind of challenges do you face as a dancer, a Moroccan dancer in the UK, or just in general? What challenges do you face?
I think the challenges are more in Morocco and more within the Moroccan community, fortunately, because this mentality, it doesn't take the night to change a mentality, it takes years. So I think that there's still challenges. I think there's still things like they wouldn't speak to you, they'd pay you until last, they wouldn't even look, that type of thing. There's still lots of challenges, especially when it comes to female. especially of the Moroccan origin as well. Don't forget, there's a, unfortunately, people, it is hard. It is hard. Uh, I think the experience, or the more that we do it, we as a dancer learn from the experience, and the more experienced dancer, the more you know how to deal with those situations.
Yeah.
So it's just knowing how to deal, and not believing anybody, and making sure you get your deposit, unreturnable deposit. The deposit, there is no go back. Type thing. So like I said, it's just it's just knowing how to deal with all that type thing. So yeah, no, it's there's going to be challenges when it comes into in terms of dancing to anybody anyway, whether Moroccan or non-Moroccan,
Yeah. True.
because we still are seeing female as a point of pleasure to some. You know what I mean? So there will still be that, but it's just dancers needs to be aware of that, and dancers needs to take precautions with that, and needs to be vigilant.
Vigilant is a good word, and it's a very complex
Yeah, yeah,
situation.
yeah.
Very complex. Who's your inspiration or inspirations?
I grew up watching Zinat Ailwi as a dancer. And
Okay.
I liked about Zinata Ilwi, she wasn't the fine, slim, tiny, and all that. No, she was a woman dancing. I grew up watching Nabila Abed. Nabila Abed, or Nabila Abed, she is not a dancer, but she's an actress.
Hmm.
But when she did Raqissa with Tabbal, this is a movie or a certain period where she had to go and practice dancing to actually be able to do the movie. She was superb. And they reckon if she took the dancing as a career rather than the acting, she would have been more famous as a dancer because she was absolutely fantastic. I love Nabila Abed dance. I love Zinata Ilwi dance. Obviously, Madame Fifi, and who doesn't like Madame Fifi? Type of thing. In terms of the Moroccan, I love so many professors. I call them professors, which is high teachers in a way. Ustad Mohammed Banan, because his knowledge is absolutely fantastic. And I've learned a lot from him. And there's a lot of teachers that have actually, you okay?
Your voice was cutting out there for a second. Let me see how long we want, because we want to hear it all. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's a lot of Moroccan teachers that I've got very high respect for. I love them into bits. There's a lot of Moroccan professors at the Conservatoire, and they do reserve and mention, and they do reserve, and researchers as well. They do reserve to be noted for what they do, and I've personally learned a lot from them. Bearing in mind all these years, how long, 23 I've been in the UK, and how long would I say as a dancer? Maybe 17, 16, 17 years as a professional dancer.
Mm.
You'll always come across people that inspires you, and it could be your student,
Absolutely.
and it could be anybody really, really in a way. It could. That's it. So,
I'm going to give you some homework.
oh,
Would you consider making a list of those names that you shared with us?
yeah, that's fine.
The inspirations, maybe post it on your page or and share it to my page, because I know I'm interested. Like, would we find any information of these people like on YouTube or somewhere?
Zinata Ailwi, if I write the name down and I will share it with everybody. Zinata Ailwi, she's on YouTube. They'll show the movies she did, and they'll show her dance. She is a dancer before an acting, but I think she became an actress in the end. Leila Ailwi, no, she is an actress, but her dancing mesmerized so many Arabs. And they reckon Nabila Obeid was going to be, if she took the dancing as a career, it would have been superstar. Obviously, I can't deny all the dancers that made the name. I mean, they have, but these are people that have left a stamp and a thumb in my heart, and I always go back into their movies and watch. And I always go back into their, work and watch it. Obviously, Fifi, what I like, and I like one of the wonderful UK-based teacher, but he's of a Turkish origin. He referred to my Moroccan work one day as Moroccan Fifi. I don't know why, maybe the hair.
No, I can see that. Actually, I can see that because I was watching your videos. I love your dancing. And I think I shared one on my page, but
yeah,
you have that, just that, like you're a person and you're sharing your joy and you're very personable like Fifi is. I can actually, now that you say that, I can totally see it.
So I do love Madame Fifi. I do love Madame Fifi, and I grow up. And what I love about Madame Fifi is her Saidi. I think her Saidi is absolutely.
Yeah.
I think her Saidi, to me, you give me a choice between any of her side and the Saidi. I'll take her Saidi. In the days where she used to do it with her band and her strength and her presence and her Ma'alima feel, and that's what when you've had so much going on in your life, sometimes you need that strength, you need that presence, you need that feel. Like, don't be thinking just because I'm a female or I'm a woman, I'm nothing. Oh, no, that is not, what it is, I am who I am and I can do it. And, so, yeah, Madame Fifi, I loved her dancing and I grew up watching her as well. So those people have made a really, really big thing on me. But Madame Fifi, personality-wise, yes, personality, so she's super. And do you know what we normally say between Moroccans as dancers? If you're going to be up and dancing, okay, and no one's getting drawn to you, then stop dancing.
That is so true. Like,
do you know what I mean? So you mentioned you do this and you do that, but if I can't get them drawn, or if any dancer can't get them drawn to me, then I'm going to be dancing for myself. I might as well look in my bedroom, have my own mirror, and just do my own dance.
And I think that says something, because it's like dancing is not just for you.
No.
Dancing is involving those people who are watching.
Piece of cake. It's a piece of cake. We're having some. My beloved, bless him his heart, and I'm hoping he doesn't mind me mentioning his name, Khalid Mahmoud. He'll say, I know. When you say, Khalid, come back, we love you.
Yes,
he used to say, piece of cake, you eat it and you share.
Yes.
That's your dance and share. But if you hold,
and my dad used to say something along these lines of, like, as a performer, as an artist, you can't be selfish. Your art is not just for you, it's for the people you're sharing it with. You have to, it's about them, not just about you. We can have a whole conversation about that. And for a moment I forgot we were having an interview, and we're just talking. So we have another interesting question from Felicia. She says, how do Moroccan men react to your dance involvement? Are there men involved in the festivals, events you sponsor, participate in?
Yes, they do. Men dance folklore, men joins in, men dance, men entertains as well. There's nothing wrong with that at all. They can do the moves, they can do the circle, they can do the hip drops. Without having to look at the sexual context, if that makes sense. Okay, without having to look at that, differently. No, men dance. You come to folklore, right? I'll give you a very simple example, and this is something I've grown up seeing. I wasn't told by mummy or granny or anything. I actually saw it down the streets where we used to live. Okay, on the bride, a Moroccan tradition between the bride and groom when they first get married, the groom has got to bring presents bride, okay? To bring those presents to the bride, it comes in the form of a horse carriageway,
Ah,
okay? You've got the horse carriageway, and on the carriage, there's all the presents, okay?
mm,
Those presents are led by a male musician, okay?
ah,
We call them in Arabic, and I'm quite happy to send you references and then write the name. And we call them Lehdiya. Lehdiya.
mm,
Hadiya in Arabic means presents. Presents. Christmas, you're gonna get hadiyas. You're gonna get lots
ah,
of hadiyas. It's Christmas, yeah. So lehdiya is the presents that the groom brings to his bride. Now this form it's led by how am I going to say by a male musician. The male musician, one of them is a dancer or should be a dancer, where he usually
ah.
stands behind on the horse carriageway behind there, wearing the takshita and dancing.
Hmm.
Very much accepted. In fact, certain families they used to get so annoyed if their daughter got married without the hilahdiya, without the male dancing, because that's what's going to kick the party out. That energy of those boys that bring in Lehdiya in the horse carriageway with all the prezzies, that's going to kick the party out. Is those guys and that particular dancer. I used to follow them down the streets and the alleyways where I used to live. First time
That's
I'm revealing.
wonderful.
First time I'm revealing this.
Well, no, I mean, it's how wonderful that, like, the dancer, whether male or female,
Oh
the
yeah,
dance
because
is the key to that tradition. You know what I mean?
it's part of it.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
yeah, now I get it. You got it.
It's part of it. It's part of it. This is a tradition. We're not going to change it. So the male dancing are present in Moroccan dance, in the folklore dance. What's Gnawa? Gnawa are dancers. The Gnawa with the hats and long tassels,
Yeah.
okay? Originally, the male, the dancers, okay? Isawa, the trance dance with the drum and the buka and going up and back. When they do the sword and when they do the male dancers, okay? Shabi, male dancer, because the energy is different and the energy adds. So, yes, I would say yes.
This is so fascinating. We could talk for hours and hours. So I want you to keep in mind that this is like the first of hopefully many more conversations we're going to have. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want to share now, like preliminarily, that you feel is important for people to know about you, about what you do, about whatever?
Um, first of all, I'm really sorry if I bombarded you with all my stories and
Oh,
my gave you a headache and all that and all that.
more, more, more. We want more.
I can talk for England and Morocco. I imagine that. In terms of the dance, I mean, the dance, obviously, I am a dancer, I am a teacher, I am an instructor. I'd like to be known and seen by this. I have started my DJing project and I will have all the information in on Facebook. But like I said, my DJing stuff is mainly head to the Arab community in the UK. Basically, because it's so much, so many ways. You know, Arabs they wear their kids every week now over here. So that's that. Uh, I was very fortunate. I was very, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. I was very fortunate to visit the most majority of the countries around the world, carrying with me something my family maybe might have been embarrassed about. And I went in all over. I didn't get into the States. That's the only place or land that I didn't put my foot in. But alhamdulillah, it went far from Middle East into the Far East, into Japan, to visit all those different students, different girls and boys as well, learning, wanting to know about Moroccan dance. So alhamdulillah. But I'm still present, I still exist. There's still a lot more to share. If you guys have got any questions, do feel free to get in touch. Sometimes I go on Facebook and I just post with you. But you're welcome to have my number and WhatsApp me and what have you. So if you think of loving the folklore, you have to love people in the country and understand a lot more about it to be able to do it. So all in all, keep learning, keep studying, keep searching. You are very fortunate because at this time we've got internet, we've got access to everything, and everything's so easy. So if you get to do that, study, 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 and don't stop in one teacher. Go around into different teachers.
Yes. Yes.
First generation will not give you same as second generation, will not give you same as the original generation, and that's all I can say. So go out, meet other people, study, and be proud of what you do. Stand up and do it. Don't just because you're not Moroccan, you can't do Gidra, or you can't do this, or because you're so-and-so friend that does so-and-so friend. No, you get up and you do it. You do it with a pride. As long as you studied it, and you're doing it correctly, that's fine. That's me.
Amen to that. You succeeded in doing something no one has done yet, and that is you made me cry right now. When you said taking a piece of your culture and doing, around the world and doing something that your family would and your culture would normally be embarrassed about. That's deep, and that is inspiring to me. You are amazing, and I just adore you. I'm so glad we have to have more conversations because you are just, I can't even think of the word, but inspiring.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Truly. And I wanna wrap up with this question.
Yes.
And I think you maybe have said some things around this, but how do you want to be remembered? Like 100 years from now, and they look back and they see, oh, who was Nawarra of Morocco? What would you like them to remember you for as?
The little foreigner that came to the, I'm gonna sort of say it as blunt as it sounds, as obvious as it sounds, but it's the truth, okay? The little foreigner in this terminology, okay? The little foreigner that came to the UK and settled and made the name. And if Nawarra ever going to be mentioned, Morocco has to be with Nawarra. So it is Nawarra of Morocco. Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be chatting to you. You digged out, I have to say. Don't forget, I'm usually on your seat.
I know. That's how we met. Is you interviewed me first, and then I was like, it's my turn now. I got to.
So I'm usually on your seat, but you managed to dig out of me some stuff that I don't normally say, which is speaking about my mother, speaking about my child's father, and speaking about the Amazir, and so I don't normally, sort of get into deep, so I don't get into debate with anybody. But thank you. It's been an absolute enormous pleasure sitting down here and chatting with you, honestly.
And the pleasure is mine. And so that there's a final comment in the chat from Felicia also saying, your outlook, Nawarra, can change the world. No kidding. So we need Nawarra in our world. And thank you so much. I look forward to everyone out there who is listening and learning from you, and what you have to share with us moving forward, because you do have such an amazing outlook and perspective. I want to, a shameless plug here, not for myself, If you, I don't know if you can see out there, I've been drinking my coffee in my Kulsum mug. Hold on. There's a beautiful Egyptian female company out there. Oh my God, there it is.
Oh yes, Kulthum. Oh,
It has, of course, I can't read Arabic, but
of
there's,
course.
there's
كوكب الشرق.
it's a beautiful mug collection, and this company, I'm gonna post it. She has Kulsum, Abdul Halim,
Wow.
and then like here's the saucer for the. I gotta learn how to do this better, you guys. And I'm gonna post the link. And she has, from what I understand, this is the some song lyrics around the edge of the. It's not working very well. I'm sorry, you guys. Maybe this. Anyway, it's such a. I was afraid to use the mug because it's so beautiful. It's gold and on white, and for you guys out there who love Arabic music like we do, go to their store, their online store. They ship everywhere around the world, so they have some beautiful, beautiful pieces, and we want to support those businesses out there that are doing wonderful things in our community. So thank you all. Thank you out there again to our viewers. We're out here sharing our passion and our inspiration and our work with you at no cost. And we only ask one thing, that you share, share, let your students and on your social media pages, so that this information that is essential in our dance world can get out, to the masses of our dance community and beyond. That's all we ask. Like and share. And thank you for your continued support. We love you. I'm going to say goodbye, masalama, and have a wonderful weekend. And yes, I will post the link. Don't worry, Felicia. I'm going to end our live broadcast. And Nawarra, you stay on with me for just a moment. Thank you again, Nawarra, and thank you, everybody out there. I always forget how to do this every time. My goodness. Okay, hold on.